Welcome to our second yet inaugural Destination Horror episode featuring Friday the 13th, the original, the trendsetter. We have our panelists back with us today, and a special treat, 3 out of 4 of us, sorry Dave, got the chance to watch for the 40th anniversary the original Friday the 13th in an actual movie theater. For me, even though it's one of my favorite movies, it's the first time I've been able to have that experience, so it was freaking awesome.
We did think we were going to die at one point, so that's cool.
This is true. I had nothing to do with that, though. Yeah, so for some reason, the movie just stopped in the middle. We had to go check it out, and then when we were coming back, we heard a weird blood-curdling scream, and then suddenly I came out, and I had to tell everybody that wasn't me screaming, and I had to, deepen my voice and be like, hey, that wasn't me.
It was him.
Maybe. It might have been.
My favorite part of the movie, my favorite part of the original Friday the 13th is when Jason Voorhees kills everybody.
While wearing
Me too.
Yeah, hey.
Because Kane Hodder in a hockey mask in the original Friday the 13th is really cool.
Yeah. Iconic.
Disinformation.
Oh, no. Just because that's not what you believe, you're going to create my reality? Okay.
Wow. How inconsiderate of you.
That's the radical socialist communist agenda, Jose.
Yeah, yo know how I am, okay? You understand.
So close-minded of you.
Yeah. I don't even
Can you
know
believe this?
I don't even know what I'm satirizing anymore.
So actually, there's a question. How old was everybody the first time they saw this film? I was 7.
How old was I 2 weeks ago?
Well,
no, I'm teasing. I've seen it. I don't know. Which one did we watch?
The original.
Was this the one where it's Jason versus Carrie?
Versus
yes.
Who?
Jason versus Carrie?
Yeah.
You know, the telekinetic chick? Is that the one?
Yeah.
They'll laugh at you. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I think I was like 12.
You see, yeah,
Wow.
I was 7 because it came out. It released in 1980. I saw it in the late 80s. Like I saw it like in 87, 88. So I was like 7 or 8 years old. So that's how old
I was not
when I
alive.
saw it. Now I saw it in a strange order because the first one I saw wasn't the original. The first one I saw was ironically part 4, the final chapter, because it was just called Friday the 13th, the final chapter. There was no number,
Yeah.
And I was, needless to say, Halloween 3 style. I was very confused. And then I realized, oh crap, there's like 3 movies ahead of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I probably didn't watch them in the right order either, and I probably started watching them as a teenager on USA Network or something. Like
One of the times when they were like airing a marathon of it or something.
Yeah, something like that, because I didn't really like horror movies that much back then. And I don't think I watched the uncut ones like on DVD until I bought them within the last like 10 years or so. And I'm 42, so to put that in perspective.
I'm 41. It's all good.
That's probably my 30s when I finally watched the unedited versions and all that. But
You old asses, I'm 28 years old.
Yeah. I thought you were like 60.
I'm throwing myself a 29th birthday party on January 8th.
Hey, as long as I'm invited, I will celebrate it.
You're not invited. You're mandatory to be there.
Yeah.
I literally can't have a show if you're not there.
This is true.
well,
Are you saying I'm the life of the party?
See it.
Yes, I'm saying you're the life of the party at Action Wrestling, which you can follow at. No.
Oh my God.
Shameless plug. Just look at the comments in the section below. You'll see it, I'm sure.
He's going to post the entire, just everything.
Oh, yeah. But no, like I said, so granted, the 3 of us got to watch it recently, but at the same time, being what date it is, we're a few days away from Halloween. AMC's already have been playing it. They've been playing that, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Conjuring. They've been playing all the horror flicks that have a series behind it. But being that we just recently watched it, opinion, did you guys think it stands? I can't speak English today. Do you think it stands the test of time?
I do.
I agree.
Like rewatching it, I was like, I came out of it and I was like, man, I forgot how like good and terrible that movie is at the same time. But it's like just like the good makes it good enough that it's not like bad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you definitely have some 80s cheese, cheese
Yeah,
in
for
general with
sure.
it, but it adds to it. It's that campfire story kind of feel to it. I mean,
Yeah, and
hell,
it's
it's a
like one of
trendsetter.
the OG like campy movies like that.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
what I like about it.
I don't think that it holds up, unfortunately, because there's so much watching it. One thing that struck me was there's so much padding in it, and knowing that it's Pamela Voorhees who's actually the murderer, it's ridiculous.
Spoiler.
Like, okay, she's under a bed and she's strong enough to force an arrow up through Kevin Bacon's neck, and yet she fights like
Oh my god.
a 60-year-old woman, which I guess
She
she
probably
was.
is.
Yeah.
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 She's probably in her 50s at the time, the actress.
I
Yeah.
mean, she fights with like this, 20-something-year-old girl, like, but she's killing all these, strong men
Yeah.
around, and that's so weird.
Yeah, if we're getting
Yeah.
into that like fight scene, it was so unnecessary.
Oh, dude, come on. The part
The
where she got on
slaps.
top of her and started doing on the sand.
Like for what?
It's like
It
it's
was
like
dramatic.
watching Alec Guinness in Star Wars: A New Hope. Like compared to like the lightsaber battles you see later on in other movies, it's like old guy.
Slow down.
Oh.
No,
Ruh-roh. I think you touched a nerve there.
I mean, it would. I mean, I don't think it would be remembered at all if it wasn't for the fact that people like Part 2 a lot, and then the hockey mask in Part 3.
Yeah, no, yeah.
If it's not for those two things, if Friday the 13th is a standalone and they never decide to make a sequel, I don't think it's remembered particularly fondly at all. I mean,
Yeah.
it made some money, but in that time, um, in the zeitgeist of the era, there was a lot of movies that made a lot of money. So I don't think it would particularly stand out.
I got you. I can agree with that. As a standalone, I can definitely agree with what you're saying. As a standalone, I can kind of see where it may not have the staying power, but as part of the package of at least the first three, because the first one was good, but the second one, bringing the fact in that you got Jason, you got this big now mutant looking dude, and then the third one, the hockey mask wasn't even really a thing. I think that was, if memory serves from some of the stories I heard, the hockey mask was just kind of a throw in at the last second,
Yeah.
just give them a different thing that move on from the sheet. I don't think they ever intended for the hockey mask to become the icon that it became.
No, but it just became that thing in a horror movie that was enough to really become its tagline and become the big identifier. And when you get movies like that, like with Jigsaw, you've got the little puppet on the bike in the voice. With Jigsaw in the Saw movies, and in Nightmare on Elm Street, you've got not just the claws, not just the face, but you've got the sweater. So those are key in sequels, and without that, like in Part 3, if they really don't, I don't know if it becomes, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not really ever wrong, so probably not. But
Well, yeah, it's like you kind of take for granted now. You asked the panel like, when did you first see Friday the 13th? But I remember being, I think it was like 8 or 9 or 10 when Jason Takes Manhattan came out. Like Jason, the character of Jason, before I'd seen any of these movies, was such an integral part of like pop culture by that time already. Like it was just, everybody knew Jason was. It was like, and like then they were still churning out movies pretty frequently, which is kind of disappointing because I remember Manhattan being marketed and thinking it was so cool, and then I watched it as an adult. And, well, this movie stinks, but okay.
Come on, man.
Yeah, like
that's because there's no Statue of Liberty in Vancouver.
when I first watched the movie, I just remember I watched it like a sleepover with my friends, and we were like, oh, we're going to get a bunch of movies that are going to be so scary. Yeah. And so we got that, and I just remember like literally my mom was watching it with us, and like it was like halfway through the movie, and I was like, where's Jason? And my
Oh, the
mom's like,
original,
oh,
yeah.
he's coming. He's coming. And I'm like, okay. And then we get to the end, and I was like, it's the fucking mom. Are you kidding me? This movie sucks. I was so mad. Like, I was like, where's Jason? I watched this for Jason. And my mom was like, well, technically, I didn't lie to you. He did come in at the end. And I was like, okay, screw you.
Yeah.
Screw you,
Yeah, I
Mom. You
don't
lied to
think
me. No. Well, I mean,
As a 12-year-old, I was like, this is stupid. This sucks. I hate it.
Like,
There-
you don't believe
there's-
how many people miss that in a trivia. I've actually seen several trivia games like those wing places and whatnot, where they'll like, who was the killer in Friday the 13th?
Well, and in my favorite
Jason.
movie, one of my
Scream.
favorite movies, Scream,
Mhm.
Yes, I
when
was
they're
about
like,
to.
Drew
who
Barrymore.
was the killer? Jason, I saw that movie 50 times.
Then you know it was
Well-
Pamela Voorhees, his mama.
But it's
Stupid.
when they ask that question, do they mean the series or do they mean, because technically you never see Pamela Voorhees kill anybody, do you? She doesn't.
You just see someone's hand do it, and then it's, the
Yeah,
only time you see her is in the
technically.
fight scene.
Because we all know it was Tom Savini doing all of that,
Yeah.
and then the actress just shows up for like the last couple days on set in New Jersey at night.
Yeah.
It is funny though because you never actually see her kill anybody.
True.
You see a hand and shoes.
You see someone killing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's very nimble for a mass murderer.
Oh, speaking of Tom Savini, David, don't hate us. We were not aware when we were watching this 40th anniversary re-release in the theater, limited release. So the movie finishes, and after the credits, some weird thing pops up. It's actually a behind the scenes on some of the special effects and some of the kills with Tom Savini explaining how they did some of the stuff. It was actually really cool. They actually, Matt talked about it earlier, or excuse me, Corey Feldman here talked about it earlier, when the scene where the arrow comes up, spoiler, through Kevin Bacon's neck. They actually explained how they did that. It was with just the basic prosthetics and effects. And that's one thing that, some of the part of what really works with this is nowadays you've got, blood and gore. It's a lot of it is CGI. A lot of the stuff is just like, it's computer generated. The stuff that they did back then, even to today's point, still looks like it actually looks like that thing is coming out of his throat. I mean, the effects, even though they were practical effects, still, I think, rock against stuff that we are made today. I hate today when they use CGI for something like that. I feel like it cheapens it, So I love practical effects, but Tom Savini, bow down.
I was gonna say, side note number 1, I love Tom Savini. And number 2, that Kevin Bacon kill, like I still like it makes me like bleh. Like just seeing it go through his throat, I'm like, nope. Don't like it.
I know that often that I hang around under a bunk bed to see if anyone lays on top of it so that I can shove an arrow ostensibly through wood and through a mattress and through cartilage and bone, as one would do.
Yeah, the usual.
It's funny you mentioned that though, because that's the first time we obviously see that, obviously in the first movie. But in the series, that's not the only time we see some kind of version of that, because in the second film, we see Jason, really Jason this time, do something similar with a spear. He walks in on a couple teenagers enjoying themselves, and before they can even finish, he just boom pierces both of them, pierces the bed, and it ends up in the floorboard.
What a way to kill the climax.
Literally.
What a way to go, though. I mean, like there's worse.
I mean, hey,
I'd be like, you just 5
go
minutes.
out with a bang.
Literally. Well,
Eh.
look, at least we didn't say it. No.
I said it. It's fine.
It's all good. But no, but like, and that's the biggest thing is like the Friday the 13th, the original movie, it was all the series established, going to your favorite movie, Scream. It established a lot of the rules of a horror movie. The whole, if you have sex in the movie, you're dead. If you do drugs in the movie, you're dead. If you drink, you're dead.
You say, I'll be right back. Don't say that because you won't be back.
Exactly. You're dead. Now here's one thing. There in the original, when we meet the Steve Christie, the owner who's trying to reopen the camp, right? is it me, or is there not a bit of a weird creeper feeling with this guy? And then the Annie, or is it Anne or Annie? The hero, the last girl, the final girl. I can't remember the character's name.
I think it was just Anne.
Okay. But remember when we first meet her, she's doing the thing on the roof, she's hammering the gutter, and then he comes out, and then he looks at some picture that she drew, and he's like, is this what I look like? And she goes, yeah, you look like that last night. And they're talking about something like she has to go away to take care of something, and he's like, I want you to come back, I'll make
Oh
it
yeah,
work.
they were definitely banging.
I was like, dude, what is with the creeper?
Oh,
I don't know that he was a creeper per se, but it did feel like they knew each other.
Yeah, like there was a backstory that they weren't explaining.
Yeah.
Like I thought even when I saw it as a kid, and then when we saw it recently in theater, I was always wondered, was there supposed to be something there that just didn't get developed? Like maybe, hey, they were running over in time to shoot, so they had to cut stuff.
Oh.
But it was a weird kind of, it was like they set up a potential backstory and then just dropped it.
They probably had plenty of time. I mean, the movie is like an hour and 20 minutes long, and there's so much padding. Early on, there's a completely unnecessary scene with a cop. They show the cop when he comes to like the camp, and they show the cop drive down
motorcycle
and drive. Yeah, he's on the motorcycle.
That takes so long.
And it's so dumb. The only reason you need to have that in there, and there's a couple scenes, a couple little things that I thought of as well. The only reason you need to have that is to make it a longer running time, because it's only like an hour and 20 something minutes. So
yeah,
it's probably something that they had and just decided not to shoot because, there is some weird thing in there. And they never developed really Steve Christie at all. He was actually, he could have been a cool kind of a cool character, because they have a good interplay with him when he goes to the diner too. And he's got that kind of a cool interaction. And
he's known in the area, that it's a small town. Yeah.
I mean, before he died, which was obviously going to happen, they could have done a little bit more with him.
No, I agree. Well, and like I said, there seems to be, when the movie starts, there's already there's the legend of Camp Blood's already established. It's just these counselors that don't happen to know about it. So a boy drowns in the late 50s, turns out to be Jason. And then they try to reopen it the next season. So they said there was something wrong with the water, like the water, not that it was poison, but there was an issue with the water, an environmental issue, so they couldn't open it. Then there was 2 camp counselors that were murdered, which we see that in the very beginning. So they established at the beginning of the movie, there's already a campfire story basically about the camp that they're going to, because you have Crazy Ralph saying it's got a death curse.
Okay, he's funny.
You're all doomed.
You're all doomed. I did, and the same thing, trend setting now, because you have to have that old geezer that's like, damn kids, you're going to die. You're not listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Scooby-Doo character, these damn kids.
Old man Jenkins.
You meddling kids.
I would have gotten away with it. See, that's what it was. Scooby would have saved the day. Ooh, that's an interesting concept. Friday the 13th with the Scooby Gang.
Nope.
No. Did you not see the Supernatural episode? They brought them into the now almost.
I did not.
I have never
because
seen
I
a
love Supernatural
episode.
And I refused.
Look, it was one of those, I had to watch it. I'm like, it wasn't half bad, but okay. Sorry, slight segue, sorry, but I have to. The only thing I'm going to say about it is this. So Sam and Dean end up transported into TV land as cartoons.
Okay.
So it's just funny seeing a character in front of Scooby-Doo say, son of a bitch, because that's Dean's catchphrase. But the weird thing is, as murders start happening in the cartoon world, I mean, like really messed up murders, Supernatural style, the characters of Scooby-Doo start becoming more realistic. So first you have the way the animation was back in the 60s and 70s, but the more that they're becoming more realistic, like Daphne goes from being almost a stick figure to having curves. Velma starts letting her inner dominatrix out with Sam. She's like, I like you, tall guy. I'm like, whoa. All the little funny things that people always said about Velma and whatnot, they start like making that happen for real. It's weird. It was weird.
Okay,
Does Velma have the wagon or no?
Huh?
The wagon situation with Velma. How are we looking with that?
Well,
Just me, not.
Come on now.
And y'all know sold it, so whatever. That's it.
Come on now.
look, I think you look, Ravenna, you should watch it.
I'm just saying, I know people are interested in that, not me. People.
Oh no, yeah.
People,
I'm a-
you know,
I'm a-
the people, the audience.
I'm a man of the people, and I know what they're into.
I speak for my people.
Dave is here for the people.
Yes, he
He's
is.
here to be the voice of the voiceless
That's
And
right.
the voiceless want to know about Velma.
and her wagon situation.
Okay, I'm done with my
You know,
segue
I
now.
bet there's a certain subset of fan fiction regarding Velma that you might
Oh,
need to
there is.
wait until later at night to Google.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
In fact, let's go to the phone.
Oh hell.
Let's see. Okay, Google.
Here we go.
Listen here, Corey Feldman.
I'll be with you. I'll be with you in just a few seconds. Velma
God.
fan fiction.
This is where the episode's going.
Hey.
Unless you stop me.
No one can stop you.
You see, I want to
Oh,
stop it, but I'm actually interested on what's the first thing he finds by typing that in.
The very first picture is all right. Well, it's Velma and Daphne being fairly erotic.
Shocker.
Velma's first time. I wonder what is her first time doing.
Probably watching
Velma-
Friday the 13th. I want to die.
Okay.
Uh,
Well.
Where's
All right.
Jason at?
Jason, he's in space.
Oh my god, there's a ton of fan fictions. I don't know if any of these are good, like The Good Way. Jason
Wait,
Voorhees.
wait.
Fan
If
fiction?
they're good in the good way. You know what?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Just forget I even said that. We're just gonna.
You never had a fan fiction phase, Jose?
Actually, no, I did. Here's the funny thing. It
Mhm.
wasn't until my 30s that my teenage son, I don't want to say educated me because it's more of I walked in. But,
Oh no!
Okay.
no, he did. I didn't walk in him do anything. He was reading something, and when I walked in, he did the quick little, "Hey, Dad, what's up?" I'm like, "What are you reading?"
Nope.
I'm like, dude, the last thing you do is like, you just like, "Hey, turn the page." Calm down.
Yeah.
But no, he did the
Open
whole.
another window. Yeah.
He's like, what you reading? He's like, nothing. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'll bring it on back here.
All right.
So,
Birdie Cowboy this thing.
Nice
I
and
mean.
wholesome.
yes, very wholesome. Yes,
I just showed
Machetes
my
and-
knee, by the way.
Machetes and shit.
machetes. Machetes are good. You know, and that's the funny thing is, you know, the machete at least the machete's been around longer than Jason has, basically. But I guess, what was your favorite? I guess I would say what's the best kill of the movie, but I think it's safe to say the best kill is the Kevin Bacon, you know, through the bed scene. The only
Well,
thing is, yeah,
That's the most creative one. Like with Steve Christie, you never really see him.
yeah, that's what I say, because there's several that we don't see the kill, like the girl.
You don't
and the archery.
really.
I like the axe on the bathhouse or whatever.
I was gonna say that one too.
Yeah,
Because of her screen, the face she makes, like I can see it right now, and I haven't seen
Yeah.
the movie in weeks, but like you can hear her and you can see her. Yeah,
Yeah.
And she just, I know if somebody was facing me with an axe, I would just, kind of scream and do
so
that.
we're gonna be summing up here in just a second. But so like I said, I think the most creative kill is definitely the Kevin Bacon kill. But that's the one thing. There's several kills, not just the Steve Christie one, because the young lady that she got lured in the rain out to where the archery was, the archery setup. So she gets thrown in. We find her dead body thrown into the window later near the climax of the film, tied up and killed and whatnot. But it's like, okay, I'm curious how she ended up to that extent. It's like with the original, with the cook at the beginning, we see she gets her neck slit, and that was also still practical effect, but a really cool practical effect. The Kevin Bacon kill we saw, Bill, we obviously see he gets hit in the head. We saw the axe scene, but here's the weird thing that Friday the 13th did, and so did Halloween. And Friday the 13th did it through almost every single movie at some point. What the hell is with them tying the dead bodies in trees?
It's a cool visual. I mean,
Creepy.
They can't tie for shit. Everything falls at the wrong time. Well, I guess at the right time, it's planned.
Yeah.
The slip knot will slip with Steve
Who-
Christie. When
Slip
this story
knot.
ends here.
Sorry.
who in fairness would not tie the body of a person you've already killed up into a tree so that it can drip blood to be seen by the camera and then the other characters who are still alive?
Yes. Who among us? Who among us would not? I think he
I
raises.
I
an
certainly
interesting
would.
Mm.
As any normal citizen would.
So you would kill people. That's very fascinating.
For
No,
sure.
she's saying she would hang them up after, though.
Yeah.
Mm. That's very healthy.
Mm. I live a
So-
very healthy, normal life with
Yes,
healthy, normal activities.
your Twitter account reveals that for sure.
Mm. I know. My Twitter account is
Oh.
wholesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Always.
wholesome. Let's see here.
Is that the right word you want to put in this? Wholesome?
Wholesome
Oh.
gang.
Wholesome.
All right. I cannot wait
Hashtag
for
wholesome.
wholesome fan fiction.
Stop!
And bro, we can, you know what? You should write it. And then maybe in one of the future episodes, you actually read it to the class. Like
You
a
should
book report.
actually write
Nope.
it and actually make it
Nope.
wholesome.
Wholesome.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, this is going to be the first of several episodes regarding the Friday 13th franchise mythos.
And I hate it here.
And you what?
What do you hate?
We like you.
What do you hate?
Well, at least,
Why are you
we
so
like you. I
hateful?
don't know about him.
Why am
That's
I
not-
so hateful?
That's not very wholesome.
Oh,
That's
Being
not
wholesome doesn't have to do with being hateful.
I think it does.
And I'm not being hateful. I didn't say I hate you guys. I said I hate it here.
oh,
mm.
like the channel or
No.
I'm definitely now gonna write. I can't even write an email that's more than like two lines. So unless it's asking somebody for money, so I'm definitely not gonna do this. But I might try to dictate it to a voice script, see what happens, and definitely read it.
No.
Before we go, this is the mental image I get. So picture this. Matt.
I don't want to picture anything.
Matt in his study on his computer typing, looking for inspiration in films such as Bram Stoker's Dracula and weird porn music. That's how I see him writing this, with a cigar and his Hugh Hefner, Ravenna walks into the room.
I'm gonna write fan fiction about how she woke up with a smile on her face, had a good healthy breakfast, put in 8 hours of work that was fulfilling, and then went home and I don't know. I don't
Straightened
know
up.
what
Sounds too unrealistic.
I thought. Yeah,
It's wholesome, though.
Just waking up with a smile. After that, everything was complete bullshit.
Unrealistic.
So much love. All right. So next episode, we're actually probably going to dive into part 2 through 4, because between me and you, part 2 through 4 is really one big movie. I mean, part 2 takes place, I think it's 2 years after the events of the first movie, but part 2 ends into part 3. Part 3 ends into part 4. So literally it's like part 2 through 4 happen within days of each other. So I figure we'll do that in one section, and then we will hit the rest as they come. But as always, if you have any suggestions or comments or requests of films or things you want us to talk about, scrutinize, pick apart, make fun of, leave them in the box below. Leave them in the comments below. Any questions for any of us individually, same thing. Be nice. To me, at least. The rest you can ask them what they want.
Yeah, I only answer one question.
Uh-oh.
And
Who
that
is the tribal chief of the World Wrestling Federation?
bingo?
Who's that
the
again?
big dog?
Who's the big dog?
I'm glad you asked. That's Roman Reigns.
Oh, I thought it was
Mm.
HBK.
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. I thought that was HBK, man. Diesel.
Dave, I'm awaiting your next podcast to describe this decision on who the big dog is in full.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I do need to do the next episode. I'll work on that for you.
All right. Well, Well, until next time, my Destination Horror panel friends, we will discuss Friday the 13th, part 2, 3, 4, and all the way through X in space. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think of X anyway? How was it?
I liked it better when it starred Sigourney Weaver, and it was called Alien.
All right. And on that note, okay, yeah.
So we're going to be going back to that Velma fan fiction.
Oh, Jesus.
Velma's first time.
Outtakes.
This should be bonus content.
Bonus content.
Put it behind a paywall.
I need to
Stop moving, the dark boding voice demanded. You move again and I'll cut your throat.
No.
I'm
God
start
dang,
doing
dude.
this.
Whoa, hold up. He went from no to re.
That's my kind of fan fiction.
David. You okay, Dave?
Yeah, man.
Oh my God. What the fuck is
that?
this?
Dude, what is that?
Velma
Is that a
pondered.
Snuggie?
Velma
You're
pondered.
first, Snuggie.
Did she love them all, but as friends? Could she really bring herself to have sex with them all? With a sudden sense of resolve, she made up her mind. Pull over, Fred.
Whoa.